Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Super Secret Werewolf game. Dun-dun-dun. Um, we are joined in the Sept of the Red Branch and the west coast of Ireland. Um, Maeve's been wandering around for a hot minute, and uh, the castle grounds. You walk along. Sept is so obscurely hidden up in the kind of the long hills along the western coast, and you walk around for a bit. Maybe it's just pitter pattering. It's kind of a cloudy day. It's got some sunshine in it, but it's got some of that kind of little bit of air chill as well. Light kind of drizzle kind of hits your face as well, so it's not like it's anything colossal, but it's noticeable if you get what I'm saying. You don't feel wet. You just feel like, ooh, like there's a bit of warmth, but there's a little bit of chill in the wind as well as you're walking along. Probably just after coming back from horse riding with, unfortunately, no Daniel, which does well, it does, it's not as the same. Orla's a bit too strict. She's a bit too like grouchy about the way she does it. Daniel's a lot more gentle. But eventually you will actually see the young Fianna. It's kind of, he was walking from the western gate, which would have been near where the cliffs are, actually. And you can see him heading in your direction as you're podding along.
Yeah, it probably doesn't help that Maeve is she's still a little out of sorts from last night, so she was probably having a lot of trouble focusing while writing. So any bumps or bruises she may have gotten have probably long since been wiped off, but she's just kind of trudging. I mean, she won't completely fail to notice that Daniel's headed in roughly this direction, but I'm not gonna lie, I think at this point she doesn't necessarily expect an approach. Probably thinks he needs to go where she's coming from. Maybe he has something to do with the stables. She doesn't fucking know.
And he'll do this awkward like um
Gives the quick blink up, and at least a little bit of surprise. Oh, well,
Lady Maeve.
hey Daniel.
Might I walk with you a bit?
Sure.
Not? Is that like awkward like step to the side so his hands are behind his back like I'm just gonna, don't mind me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he kind of just falls into step alongside, and she's a little bemused, not fully stirred up yet, just kind of like, oh, glancing aside. But yeah, she I guess just picks up the same amble she had going before, though she'll look aside. Do you plan to go anywhere in particular?
Well, I was hoping to look for you. There was a few things I wanted to talk to you about, and well, there's a lot of sites on the western side.
Okay.
It's a short walk. We'll have to pass through the Brook's Rest, but it should be nothing that you need to be alarmed by. And I'll have you back before your packmates grow suspicious of anything, if that's what you're worried about as well.
No. As long as I'm out with someone, there's nothing to be suspicious of.
He just gives a nod. Very polite. Very genial. Again, Daniel's so polite and mannerly, always. You know what I mean?
Always.
Got that etiquette score, Katie.
Yeah, she's just kind of, oh, everything is suddenly situation normal, which on some level, I probably find at least a touch suspicious. But yeah, she walks along with. Doesn't seem to mind at all.
He'll lead you down. I will actually get the picture of Brooks Rest for you, so you can have some context before you come on to the mighty cliffs. You know what I mean? So, Brooks Rest. Yeah, so you're kind of walking along paths like this. Just imagine with a more overcast day, if you get me. It's like sunshine comes in and out, if you get what I'm going with.
Oh, there we go. Finally flicked over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine it with more of an overcast vibe about it. Sunshine does kind of flicker through, but it's kind of got that again, that kind of late afternoon, like, whoo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To it.
I'm not gonna lie, Brooks Rest is very pretty. And so, yeah, puttering through, she doesn't hesitate to glance up the few times that sun kind of flicks across her eyes. Just kind of takes it in. She's not, maybe not quite as awestruck as she would normally be, but she's looking and, at least on some level, appreciative.
He'll definitely start. He'll be politely walking, and eventually, once you're kind of into like the lower sections of Brook Rest, or the houses kind of space out. If you get me, they're not like clumped together as much.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to apologize for my candor last night.
And it's funny because it's kind of like the doe eyes. It's kind of the glance aside of like, oh,
I did not want to embarrass you in front of everyone.
oh, that's fine. I just figured I was the one more due to make an apology.
I spoke harshly.
Your backmate was hurting.
It was still uncalled for, and it was brash.
It's a bit of a nod and finally a faint smile. Thank you.
Just gives that nod. I understand if you take offense. It is. Again, it is my fault.
Oh, no, I don't blame you at all. If someone I was that close to was hurting, that would be just as bad. This is kind of the little smile that it feels like a joke almost, but she's not incapable of having a vicious streak. It's kind of hard to believe looking at her right now. So I don't hold any hostility. It was just a very rough night for everyone.
I take it you are all better this morning.
It's funny because after the last statement, she just sets to looking ahead instead of over. Mm, I mean, I think the other two are okay.
Nod.
Just and I mean, let's face it, it's not even a crybaby thing. It's just Jesus. It's a lot to witness and roll over in your head. So I mean, when she does glance aside again, she's a little watery eyed just because it's been emotional. It's not like she's about to burst into tears. It's been kind of coming and going all morning. It's just time to process doesn't make it any better. Just seems to make it worse.
Not generally, no. Uh, Christopher and I reassured our Alpha and Beta that whatever pain they felt in the link was Christopher's decision to feel that.
She does finally get a little more animated as she looks over, and it's so earnest, like as if she feels like she needs to apologize for it. She's like, I never meant for him to go in. I thought he'd just tell me where it was. I didn't mean to do that to him.
My packmate is a stubborn man.
Seems to be a shared trait, but
It's more that he understands that sometimes in order to succeed, you must sacrifice things, regardless of the pain.
I don't know whether to thank him or apologize to him because I don't know that I would have seen anything if he hadn't decided to do it, but
I think you would have. You are connected to things that he and I cannot understand. As a child of a crescent moon. No, it's not. It's half moon. No, crescent moon. Here, just fuck my brain.
Crescent, you're good. You had it right.
As a child of crescent moon, Fionn does not go to that place. Not anymore after the deep cleansings. Too much pain for even one such as him.
Definitely an apology.
Do not apologize. He will not accept it. He's even worse than I am.
Does seem to be another shared trait. Apologies don't seem to be worth very much.
They are worth much. But I think they are not necessary to apologize for something that is what any of us would do.
The same for being thanked.
That is my hang up, not his.
It's a little not like okay.
As I said, I spoke brashly.
It's okay. You're already forgiven.
I know it is not easy to hear someone state such intent and aggression towards one of your people. I did not mean for you to be put in that position.
I didn't mean for you to be put into the opposing one. It would have been necessary.
You did not. It's the actions of those I have ire with that put them in the position they're in.
Is there any way besides proof of action for that to be made right?
Proof of action is plentiful. But whether you're doing it just to appease someone or doing it because you actually believe in them, that is what I judge. I don't waste time on people who do it for falsities. Or do it out of some idea of self-preservation. I apologize to you because I earnestly believe that I should apologize. Otherwise, I would be doing you a false.
And they're walking right side by side, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
She finally, he's done the same thing before. So it's nothing new or ooh about it. It's just in this situation, it's a gesture that could mean a lot. She just kind of finally loops the arm up through his.
He doesn't mind. He's well used to, you see this all the time in the court and all that. Do you know what I mean? He's well used to just being doing that sort of like, oh yes, we'll link this way.
Yeah, it's something. It's something that's casual, but it's still a gesture that she's making a point of contact. So she does. She kind of just loops the arm up. I can understand being angry, and like I said, you're already forgiven. I saw a lot. I see why you want so much to have his back. He needs people like you.
We're the first generation after the rebellion. If we do not set a standard of change, then we'll forever be beating an innocent family down for crimes committed by truly awful people, but it'll only just spread the intent.
Crimes committed by truly awful people, but not by him.
Or his family.
No.
That is the issue I have.
I think you're right.
Many people will look at me for not being loyal to those that I grew up with, but our family, my family, was built on the idea of justice and the preservation of such. If I did not stand with a man who was being kicked in the dirt and extended my hand to him, then I could not call myself a Fianna.
And she looks down and works her lips for a second, kind of glances up again. It really did make the difference.
I felt something and I assumed the worst.
I know. And even if you weren't right, I don't. She didn't speak her intention when she did it. But even if you were in the wrong, you coming so quickly and taking his back made the difference in him coming back around. It was that first little thing that tipped the scale the other way. So it's
I think it was a combination of things, not just me.
a bit of a smile. Yes, but that was still the first time he moved. It still made a world of difference to him. So I'm glad that you did it.
As I said, I could not call myself a Fianna if I could not stand by the people that I chose to stand with. For my reasons. Not anyone else's.
was your choice. It only makes sense that it be your reasons.
You'd be surprised what influence other people guide our own choices.
There's kind of a pained glance. And not making a decision that is as bad or worse than making the wrong one.
Precisely. Have you seen the cliffs?
No.
Points as you're like walking up ahead, and you see the tower, and that is the. I'll zoom out just a tiny bit. There's the landscape. You'll see when it fades in properly.
No. I imagine from her point of view, it's almost a little strange because you can't see all the cliffs as you're approaching. You can just see that eventually the land just kind of ends.
Point out, like you like get you to extend your head over and point. You see the waves rushing in. You see the breadth of it as well.
Yeah, she follows the gesture, the point, tips her head, and finally, the focus of the eyes shifts from right in front of her to out there, and there's a lot of out there, especially as she kind of looks along and along and along, and she's been kind of passively following, passively walking alongside, but she finally um takes a little of her own initiative in just wanting to walk towards the edge.
He'll gesture. Come on, this way. He'll lead you up. It looks to be stuff like this. You're walking up, like up, essentially.
Oh Lord, poor Maeve. At least she's got stamina. Yay. Yeah, she tips a glance as he points over, and sets up to follow, and she may not be the fastest, but at least she can keep it trucking all right.
Yeah, kind of, he takes a slow pace, so you've got plenty of time to walk along, you know what I mean? The wind does howl as well, the big deep rumble, you know what I mean?
Her hair goes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there will be points. I mean, there's the initial kind of instinctive urge of like steps. You just quickly get up steps. You don't just take your time sauntering. But after a bit and after that first good blast of wind, she slows it down and actually does, look out and look down, and the eyes widen a little. And the next howling blast, she actually finally just stops and lets it batter her because yay, external stimuli, and this is something she's always wanted to feel and see. So she finally takes a moment and just stops and lets the wind whip her hair around until it, lashes her across the face and the upper arms. Doesn't seem to care, just takes it in for a second.
As soon as you go up, you like, I'll get a point. I'll tell you when you come to this bit, but you're walking along. Pretty much what looks like this.
Yeah, looking up and up at these natural pillars. It's just one of those things where she kind of, again, it's the faintest little smile because it's like the stones already wanted to stand.
You can only imagine what it's like on the Umbra.
Finally gets a little bit of a buzz of life back in her too. She does glance aside. What is it like?
Well, it's not our protectorate. It is awash with different spirits, especially those of the sea, rocks. Some have been there a long, long time. Some even remember the days of which, well, where I'm leading you to. They remember when we first walked along here.
We'll have to come back sometime and hear the stories.
Do not travel alone in the Umbra out here. That's my only advice to her. Like I said, this is not our protectorate. Not all of it.
She gives a glance. Is it hostile or just wild?
It's wild. Always have a sense of caution in your hunting ground.
For some reason, that actually works to sober her up a little on it. She nods.
That way, whatever you do see, you will not be taken surprised by it.
Have you been through here in the Umbra?
Nod.
With your pack?
Once or twice. I have been here on my own as well.
There's a bit of a smile. The do as I say, not as I do smile.
Particularly during the storms, it can actually be dangerous. You get swept over the lake. The gestures at the fucking drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she kind of glances back and gets, I mean, completely involuntarily. It's just kind of the goosebumps, like, ooh,
That
ooh.
is why I'm saying. I speak from experience. I nearly went over the edge one time.
Much firmer, just slow, decisive nod of like, yep, that is solid. And if the wind blows this strongly here, she kind of glances up and it's
You
just,
can
ooh.
you can only imagine what that's like during a storm.
I mean, even as it is now in the Umbra with actual spirits that can physically,
Yep.
grab you. Nope.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's like. It's not.
Context.
It's like just have always a cautionary. You know what I mean? It's that type of vibe.
She kind of, looks up and around, and it's, as she gets hit by a blast of wind and just gives her head a bit of a shake. And, you know, there are not many places, I think, where things so polar opposite are so close together. I imagine they must feud in the storms.
Like you would not believe. We should ask the tail singer about the dance of the thunderstorm.
She gets a bit of a smile. I'm sure there are bigger ones, but I did see one dance.
That is what he sent some of us out on. The galliards, as per the rite of passage.
To watch the storm dance.
To dance a step in it.
The eyebrows kind of pop like, oh!
And tell it and bring the tail back of your feet.
Imagine even one step takes you a very long way.
Smirking.
Grinning a bit.
You'd be surprised, even if you are the most flat-footed thing.
Maybe, but it's a very, very big dance floor.
You have to choose very carefully where you wander.
Is that yours?
Look over. Hmm?
Was that your rite of passage?
Not.
Where did it take you?
Point out.
Like,
And
out into the sea out?
he'll point out and see this little slit that goes down. Like he points out and points down. You see those two rocks there?
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah, she kind of looks down and, oh, and then kind of looks back up the way. Where did you start?
He points a ways down the big, the long cliff landscape. He'll point like further east.
That is quite the step.
He walked in the Umbra. I had figured most people's voice couldn't travel. So I walked and walked until I found a very curious wind. I cannot speak to spirits, but I can sing. I can howl. So they began to wisp. And by the time I whisked my way to where I needed to, I howled so loud it echoed along the cliff bay.
The dimples are finally showing.
To have a command of something is what stags, gallards do.
Did you trumpet across the territory then?
No, they could just hear it echoing. But my return was quite quiet. He's just walking down along this pathway now, like the this kind of tinier one. That's a bit more like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Nope.
But thankfully, there's actually is a path carved into it. You can tell this is probably where the tourists walk along as well.
What did you say?
That is a secret. You wouldn't believe me if I told you anyway.
It was finally a kind of look. Why wouldn't I believe you?
Just smirking. You just wouldn't.
It's a secret that all the cliffs get to know, but I don't.
Yes.
Maybe I'll ask them. She like kind of looks over with that little like, ooh. Maybe I'll
Maybe
do
you.
it.
Maybe you will.
Maybe I will.
They just sit down for a bit, staring out at the sea, like stopping. It's like we're going to stop here for a few minutes.
She is perfectly grateful for the stopping point.
It's almost like he did it because he knows you're not as fit as him.
It's almost like, yes, exactly that. And so she flumps down and, phew. It's one of those things where she's not going to try to be, a delicate, fine lady. No, she walks down, lets the wind dance around with her skirts, and probably has her feet kind of plunked out in front of her, like, ugh. Just hands propped behind her and enjoying the wind, letting it again. It's making her half blind, but she doesn't mind it whipping through her hair. And now I have to wonder what you think I wouldn't believe.
Well, that's up to your wanderings.
Leans over a little. Not even a hint?
Nope. Then it wouldn't be much of a tale if you knew all the stories of what I said.
Well, have to bring a very good story back with me.
Maybe you will.
I'll have to. Why would they tell me their story if I don't tell them one they haven't heard yet?
True. Very true.
This place has seen centuries. I'd have to bring a story from somewhere far away. A story it wouldn't know.
Perhaps.
It's the perfect kind of loud out here. You know?
Nods. Hey, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Give me primal urge.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm not gonna keep escalating. Temptation is high. Damn it. Alright. Primal Urge. It's not the worst thing. Oh, there's a 6 in there.
The wind
one.
howls like a boom. As it rockets around, with this big mighty whoosh noise, you swear you hear a scream echo along the wind with it. But it sounds so far away, like a mass echoing, this kind of high pitched like no, but you definitely hear that kind of scream in the wind. Like imagine it puts all your fucking hairs up. You know what I mean?
It does. It's one of those things where she's been so, slowly, carefully relaxing. She hasn't been like wound super tight, but she's been tense and she's been relaxing and slowly just kind of enjoying the odd combination of the perfect kind of loud and the perfect kind of quiet, because the wind, yeah, it's loud, but that's all there is. There's the wind and the waves, and there's nothing else polluting the noise until that. And yeah, every hair suddenly like pops up, and she.
No, it's not like a noticeable thing. It's just a very subtle one because it's very subtle. It's like, ooh, do you ever mean, ooh?
Yeah, it's that little bit of a jolt. The eyes kind of snap open, What was
Daniel is
that?
just, what was want?
I heard. She like knits her brow and tries to decide if it's just maybe everything that's haunting her. Though she does kind of tip and look along the cliffs.
That's
Heard
the
it.
rush of seawater and the rush of wind. You know what I mean?
I thought I heard a scream. It was just for a second.
They do say many others on Sept have heard it too. It is a popular thing. I wouldn't say it's popular, but it's more something out here. It's kind of a mystery.
Nobody knows what it is?
Few people have heard it. Some say it could be the rush of wind off the. You gesture at some of the inlays. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause wind, that rush of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. She makes a little bit of a face.
Others say in the Umbra they've heard it. There could be a spirit of some kind, but nobody has outright seen it.
It sounded like it was
In pain.
so far.
So far and in pain.
And in pain. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a wounded animal. Maybe. You think that would be the closest thing you could associate to? You know what I mean?
How long have people been hearing it?
past year and a half. It comes and goes.
It's just kind of that appalled look.
We have done several investigations on it. There are things out in that sea that even the guru cannot go deep in with.
But something that's screaming in pain for over a year?
In pain. They look over, like, confused.
She's
Just
not.
sometimes it sounds like a wounded animal, other times it sounds like animals aligning with each other. There are no wolves in Ireland. Could be foxes too, they screech high up into the night.
If she had to make like a knee-jerk guess, because she only heard it for a moment, would she, like, her immediate assumption be that it was human or that it was an animal?
You're not quite sure. It's so echoey,
But
you're not
it
quite sure.
definitely sounded pained.
Yeah, definitely sounded pained.
I don't know. I guess it could have been something like a fox, but
Like I said, my pack included has done several sweeps. There's a lot of ground to cover here. And each time we hear it in a different place. Which has led to some of us believe that it could easily be an animal.
what kind of animal would be crying in pain for so
Might
long?
might not be. Like I said, we heard it in different places. You'll emphasize. If you were to scream now, imagine what that would sound like off these echoes.
She kind of leans over thoughtfully. I wonder how long the echoes dance here when they want to.
Could be anything. Like I said, we were first suspicious. We checked it around. But hearing it in different locations, it could easily be anything. A seal trapped in the rocks. A fox, after spraining itself, still alive, but only barely. It could be a number of things. There has been a ship that went missing about 6 months ago. No trace of it.
It's funny because you mentions the fox and the seal, and man, her soft-hearted little face, just like, oh.
There was a ship that went missing about 6 months ago, which has led some of us, to be suspicious. But we have found no trace. Again, he'll gesture around like, maybe I'll put this into perspective. Look at the
Miles upon
fucking
miles.
size of, you know what I mean? You reckon they could search sectors and it would still take them fucking ages. You know what I mean? Even Maeve, like, when she looks out, is like, whoa. Do you know what I mean?
There's an absent kind of nod as she just looks down, and like it's cliffs until they fade into mist, not until they end, just until she can't see them anymore.
Yeah, I'll put it like that. In this weather, yeah, you can't see the bottom.
That's creepy. I mean, it's awe-inspiring, but it's also just like cool.
You see the sea spray every now and again, maybe from one particular big wave. But yeah, you can't see the bottom there. The Atlantic looks out into the misty, like, it's kind of that kind of grisly day. You know what I mean? It's still beautiful to look at, but oh, you can see what he means. You know what I mean?
And she can't help it. She kind of glances around and starts going, okay, there's the stones, there's the cliffs, there's the sea below, there's the wind howling. Like, she's assessing, guessing, essentially, what would be on the other side. She's not looking, she's not moving to go. It's just, you can tell that she's starting to kind of assess what's around her.
Mm-hmm.
Pull together educated guesses. She'll even run her fingers through the grass, see if there's any, like, kind of late summer flowers.
Bits and pieces. Particularly along the cliffsides, there'd be late summer flowers, but it would be like, it would be sparse because, again, there's only select things. You know what I mean? They even talk about old villages that used to be on here, but they fell into the sea. Old stories, you know?
Fell into the sea.
Of course. There's a village point miles down that once it was a human village. And one day it just fell in. The cliff edge went underneath it and it just tipped. Some
Oh,
of the houses are still there.
could we go see it sometime?
Not.
It's strange to think there are things here that are older than any other place I've ever been.
These cliffs have been here for millennia. You'll stand up again and, take her by the hand and start walking where we're going, we believe, and judging by the markings we found, was connected to the ancient sept that our cairn was built on, or at least a portion of it that we found.
Yeah, she'll totally ease up, let him lead her by the hand.
The humans have built over a general tower, but when you know what to look for,
Yeah, there's a small nod. She follows along. She's still kind of distractedly glancing back to the cliffs, kind of straining her ears, but
just the wind howls. It's got that big woof, you know what I mean? Like big, like whoa, you kind of jarred a bit. You know what I mean?
dude, between her hair and her dress, yeah, it's any wonder she's not like stuttering over a couple steps.
And you come to this tower here, right here.
Right here.
Which I'll put like this. This has a complete overview. Look, like you can see, this was probably used as a watchtower because you can see it's one of them towers that if you were clever enough, you can probably actually see it in the picture as well. You can see why it's there because it can oversee who's coming in the bay all along there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she follows them in, even as they're walking, glancing around, looking at the ground, looking for stones that don't suit the rest of the area. Just
You see classical signs of like, oh yeah, this was a tourism hotspot. You know what I mean? Like definitely is because people come visit here. There's those little sign things where you put like URL in and look out so you can get it. Those type of things. So you loop around to the side and go into small, tiny little alcove, little small part of the big tower, and he'll point to that's a tri-spiral, a very old form of a tri-spiral. Like we're talking Mrs. Theurge, old as balls.
literally older than the fucking civilization in the country she comes from. Old
Yeah.
as balls.
You can see by the way the stone is. It's like they built it with the natural stone, but you can see one of the stones that they built in with it has that little marking on it.
She can't help the urge to touch it.
I'll put it like this, man. There's a weird sensation because you feel that energy off it. You're like, oh, you know what I mean?
The eyes get like not shock big, but like wonder big. Just bright and shining and oh.
It leads, you further into the kind of round bit and you walk in from under it. We're going to step over. Stay with me. Okay.
Nods rapidly in compliance, like, yes, please.
And you step over, and again, you can hear like essentially the umbral music. Really, it's just the sounds of waves crashing, fog misting in. You know what I mean? But this place is covered in symbols from the round tower. It's just covered in these old Celtic ruins. The echo of it is it's much more smaller, but it's got this weird like the light comes in at certain angles and it highlights the symbols, which seems to glow with kind of lunic heliotic light.
Yeah, it's ooh.
Nobody knows what these symbols mean. Well, wrong button. Nobody knows what these symbols mean. They are definitely not Mormonish. They're Gaian, but the language is old. There are no recognizable glyphs, if you get what I'm saying. Like even Maeve, your lunar glow came to just reflect off them. This makes it all weird because they like glow on your skin. You know, the reflection off them.
Yep, pardon as I'm getting you situated in here again, or trying to. Sorry, the camera did things. I'm fixing it. There you go. But yeah, it's yeah, she's excited. And again, it's she can't help. She doesn't swipe across them. She doesn't want to do damage, and she understands the idea of like with old things, you're not supposed to touch them, but she can't seem to resist the urge. She does it gently. She does it to see what she feels, what she hears, what she smells.
Energy. This very like essentially feel the gnosis of them. You know what I mean? Just whoa, a little soft hum.
Nobody can read them?
We can understand that they have a basic idea of Loon, Helios, pointing, but they're just an old form, the way they're written. They speak of, I think, from what I've heard, Loon and Helios adjoining, blessing the children of Gaia to defeat all their enemies.
Yeah, she kind of looks along the wall, like looks for patterns, lines, as it were, to see if it. Because if it's telling a story, it wouldn't be quite the same as showing like the pattern of light on the walls to mark different things. It would be something else. And yeah, maybe certain points should be lit at certain times, but she's trying to kind of recognize it.
I put like this: your spirit heritage makes this place glow.
She glows, it glows. There's a lot of glowing going on right now. And she's
again, Maeve. I'll put like this: certain symbols glow because you're in here. Certain ones.
they catch her attention first. She's just looking to them, trying to
Oh yeah, with
memorize them.
that spirit heritage, I'll let you roll your intelligence plus your spirit heritage there. But
Ooh. What is my intelligence? It's tree. Ooh. Only 2, because ones are a bitch.
that is very, 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 very old. Listen, Moon. I'll put like this: proper the Fomorian day old. You know when the Fianna and all the others did battle with the Fomorians. That's how old it is.
Ooh. Are they different at all, as though indicating different phases, or are they all the same?
Different phases, as if they're representing packs, if you get what I'm saying. Like
Ooh.
full moon, gibbous moon, you know what I mean?
Auspices. Yes.
And one big, like, lunar spirit, which you would recognize maybe as a, like, it could be, no, I wouldn't say a totem, no, but like a, what are they called? Like a larger incarna?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Celestine.
Celestine. Lua.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Daniel, in real time. Oh, let me make sure your mic is reset. Give me 1 second. Because it seems to be wonky.
Eh.
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 That might have redone it. Say something?
Eh,
Okay, there we go. I'm not sure the other bit got caught. I just realized it was grayed out.
what bit did you miss?
I heard you. I'm just not sure the Hangout
That'll be
registered
fine.
you talking about the signs. But yeah, she's just. Daniel gets to watch in real time as she just gets completely invested and swept up and inspired and drawn. She's driven as shit for things like this. This is ancient, and she reaches up where she can to lightly touch the bits that are glowing, tries to kind of. I mean, she can glance over the symbols near them, but she won't have quite as much insight.
It will identify two Celestines, Caradwin and Lua. Lua is bright though; it's not glowing. Caradwin is glowing, but Lua, oh, even you could tell by the way the carving is done. If that thing did glow, it would shine. You know what I mean? Like bing. Do you know what I mean? But it's not glowing all day. Not in your Lunic light.
Yeah, she's. Are they like those two in particular? Are they like on the ceiling, on the floor, high on the walls?
Caradwin is on the floor. Lua is on the high wall. Caradwin is represented by three symbols: Mother, actually two, Mother and Crone. And she has got a close association with the full moon, so it's kind of more like half and half of a full moon. One side is Mother, one side is Crone.
Yeah, she can't resist it. She does ease closer to that one in particular, and you know,
I would say roll me an intelligence cult there, but
oh, I want to touch it.
if you're looking at the Lua symbol as well, a cult, please.
I will. I roll for both of them. So intelligence occult,
Yes.
a key. Or we do two separate rolls, or
Nah, just the one will do.
it is tree.
Green. So, Lua will glow if you had Helios heritage.
Yes.
You can tell that straight away. Fire. Light. You know what I mean? You're the moon, so you're looking at the keeper of the cauldron. That is the goddess of the moon, but also the goddess of the underworld, both life and death. Mother Crone. Fertility. Lua is bright craftsmanship, you know what I mean? It's almost as if they are joining to give their children's blessings to fight the true enemy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where she honestly, before she goes near it, she takes her shoes off, even in the Umbra.
Oh, it feels weird on your feet. You're like, oh, do you know what I mean? Start vibrating a bit.
Yeah,
Like the hum, you know what I mean?
she initially tries carefully not to step on the lines, but she, does her best to get kind of towards the center of it, looking up at the symbol of Lua, just like, is this angled so they could hit the same spot?
Bingo! Almost like that's the way it was designed. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
maybe they didn't do it exactly here, but you can tell this is probably what they're honoring.
Yeah, and then once she's gotten in there, and it's just like that humming even up through her feet, and she's looked at it and kind of gone like, okay, I think I get it, and she does. She just slowly crouches down and displays her hands on the symbol because ooh.
And I'll turn and look over. The Right Master believes this is depicting the blessings.
I think she's right.
No, it is old, very old.
She, hunkering down and, hands splayed over the symbols. Careful not to, again, it's almost like she's worried about mussing lines, even though they're carved in. She doesn't sweep her hands across, she just kind of gently pats them down across the lines and looks over. And I mean, it seems like such a silly question. Do other people feel this way in here?
So far, it has only been the Theurges.
You don't feel the hum?
I feel the hum, but not as strongly. It's like a light sensation.
It's kind of thoughtless and explorative. She just picks up one of the hands and offers it.
Maybe reach over and take it.
And yeah, she just reaches over, takes a hold of his hand, might even try to coax him out onto the symbol, but it's one of those things where she's looking up to see if it makes a difference, if it changes anything. She's got a good hunk of spirit heritage, and
Primal there, but
ooh, I'm gonna do it. Ooh, primal urge. Ooh, two.
joining together, the gibbous moon and the crescent moon glow.
Oh, that just blissful smile, like, oh, I'm learning, and she's so excited seeing anything change and react to them. And she's looking at him too periodically, like glancing to see if his expression changes, if he.
They just frown and just stare. Interesting.
I wonder what would happen if one of each of us was here.
Perhaps it's something you can discuss with the Right Master.
It's like, oh, reality. She kind of blinks a few times,
Or
finally nods.
or we could keep it a secret.
I should tell the rights master.
We should.
Just want to see.
Perhaps we could keep it a secret for now.
There's
Maybe we don't want to jump at everything before. Plus, it's nice to have something of your own for a while. Look up around the place.
Oh, that little smile, like you understand. On the one hand, like it's kind of guilty. Initially, she looks up to see, like, you swear to God, it's like, is this a test? But when he seems earnest enough, it's just a smile. Like, yes, that exactly.
I imagine the Right Master anyway has deducted some things, but perhaps maybe we could just enjoy this for now, before having to run off and constantly tell everything. Perhaps maybe even build your own knowledge. That way, there might be something that even she doesn't know.
It's always exciting when you're the first to learn something. And you don't keep it to yourself, but learning it yourself.
She has been here a few times. She has described that this was the blessing room, but she said that it posed no threat to the Sapt. If anything, she always says that the alphas of the pack should meet here regularly.
I think it would be a fine thing to bring one of each of us sometime. And she is. Her eyes are just dancing across the walls, looking for every time those two symbols appear.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interwoven, you see them all the Ospa symbols.
to see what happens. If anything happens.
Perhaps. Although for now I am quite enjoying the fact that it is just you and I.
Oh, the big smile. finally does pull herself up into a stand. She stays on the cymbal. She can't help it. It's the hum on her feet it's weird, but ooh, she likes it. This is the good weird. She does actually. She pulls herself up and still smiling, and you know what? She gonna give him a hug. Just that kind of big, honest, just hug. She's happy. She wants to share it.
It's kind of odd when you plunk into him because just gives that little pat pat. Like, oh, I'm hugged. Ooh.
He is. He's hugged. She's not making it weird. She's, if anything, got her head kind of tucked down and just gives him a good squeeze and just thank you for bringing me here. Sometimes it's hard to see a light until it's glowing on your face or under your feet. You just let him go after a moment. It's just there's a good hot second of like big enthusiastic, like thoughtless, just very human hug. Do they? She finally kind of glances up towards the exit. Do they extend outside?
No.
Huh. She finds herself looking up at the wall again. Is anyone on sub tied to the sun?
Tied to it.
Hmm?
What do you mean?
She kind of splays open the arms where she's got just that pale, soft kind of glow going. Even her hair like goes, I imagine with the glow, a little more gold or coppery than silver, but I've always been tied to the moon. It's part of me. Surely there are people who are.
Nula. With Helios? I'm not quite sure. I don't think there is.
Has Nula been here?
Not. Much device. With the right master.
Just kind of a grin, like, oh. A quirk of a smile.
As I said, this place is used for meetings of the alphas. Of the packs. Apparently, at the end of August, they have a meeting here. And everyone, they even say, feels more alive after.
How does it do this when Nula is here?
I've not been here when Nula's been here. Nula and I are, well, you can imagine. She's a gentlewoman, but her pack I am in disfavor with, so I don't get to see her as often.
There is that half second kind of flash of mischief, like, ooh. Doesn't seem right.
What doesn't?
Just the idea that she looking up again. That you can't be around people that you do like the company of. Just because of who they're tied to.
I would say something Galliard appropriately catty. But I'm glad you're not that Thanks. Restrictive as some of the people even in your own pack.
No. I've always been friends with who I'm friends with. And people don't have to like it. But they do have to accept it. I don't. She kind of smiles aside. I don't do well with being told no. That one, like, that beautiful, clear moment of, like, I'm spoiled. Or essentially, I'm a brat. But it's just the biggest, happiest smile about it. It's not vindictive or nasty. It's just, funny thing. No, doesn't seem to work real well. It's the damnedest thing.
You just nod.
Would your pack look badly on me if I was friends with Noah?
No. My pack are not judgmental. They have opinions on the MacTiges, but Nula, it's very difficult to hate Nula.
Oh, the big smile again.
I mean, you've met Nula. She's lovely.
She is, which is why Maeve has meant over and over to speak with her and spend time with her, but she just wanders and it completely fades out of her mind. Would you mind if sometime we brought her here and showed her? The same way we see it. I'm sure she's seen it before, but
If you wish to bring people here, that is your choice.
it's your place too.
It's your choice. I simply showed you. If you wish to bring anyone else here, that is fine. So long as they do not trouble me, I do not care.
It's not. Like, yeah.
Basically, it's like, as long as they don't give me shit, I really don't mind.
As long as they're not assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty
I
simple.
will say this. She's your pack mate, but please do not bring the MacTide here.
No. No. If I need to have a Galliard here, she just gives his arm a pat, gives his shoulder that little bit of a squeeze. I'll bring you.
Just gives a nod, an awkward one, like, yep. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey.
Yeah. It's almost like it just never even crossed her mind. The very idea is she's like, no, why would I do that? I have you.
We should get back. I do not wish to think your packmates that I have stolen you away.
I didn't put up much of a fight. She grins.
Still. Particularly after last night.
Okay.
Daniel starts to step across. And Maeve, before you step across, probably should step outside to like even gaze on the umbral landscape before you transition over. Give me primal age.
Oh, I want it. Oh, please, dice. Yes.
That scream echoes far into the landscape.
Oh,
It's like a howl up, not like a howl, but just this. It's more resonating, like it's almost part of the wind now. But that's unsettling. That's really fucking unsettling.
yeah. Every hair on her body goes up. That is not what you wanted to see / hear. Does it have any sense of direction?
No,
Or does it just kind of blast across her and
you didn't get enough successes to get a direction. You need one more.
does it still sound pained?
Yes and no.
Do I need to like peony for details?
No, it sounds like a call.
Like crying for aid, crying for
No.
reinforcement?
It's almost like something, that kind of weird screech goes up and it just makes this second like woo off the wind. And it sounds as if a horn, maybe? Maybe? Do you know what I mean? But it just seems so foreign. You know what I mean? The sound of it's just so woo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she goes stock still. I mean, hair and skirt's still dancing, but her body statue stiff for a moment. All the hair's up on her body. She just, the eyes go a little wider. She tries to process what just rolled in through her ears.
I'm gonna go across back over to Daniel.
Yeah, she takes a second to kind of glance back at the cliff. Finally pulls her shoes back on and, yeah, pulls out her compact mirror and goes across.
Ooh. Hey, Daniel's there waiting for you. Leaned up against one of the rocks.
Yeah, she's covered in goosebumps, just ooh.
Are you alright?
It was louder.
I didn't hear anything.
Almost sounded like a horn? Twist around to look back at him like, am I losing my mind essentially? That look?
Give you a frown. What type of horn?
Her head kind of shakes. It sounded different. Not like the ones I've ever heard in the music I've listened to or on set. It sounded foreign.
There you go, there you go, Maeve. It's
Ooh,
in the private chat.
ooh, ooh.
But first, no.
The very first note.
And you know what I mean?
Kind of like a very distorted horn, but it echoed kind of. It like chews on her lip, trying to kind of figure out if you heard a very strange horn blown maybe through a tunnel, or it wasn't just far away, it had an echo to it.
You start to think, I would not spend this around as quick. Perhaps look into the disappearance of this boat. The name is ironic, but it was called the Terminator.
Okay.
There is reports, from what we've heard, of a horn sounding in the mist. Keep it quiet, though. Not until we know. We have a better idea of what we know.
Bobble of a nod.
Bring back to me what you find. If you wish to tell your pack, tell them to a point. Tell them you're working with me, if that will ease their concern. But he'll gesture around. If your rune thinks that he can charge around, looking around these things, he could be here for hours and not find a single thing.
Where did the ship go down?
It was last seen heading past here.
Right here. She glances out towards the cliff.
You can see probably just along. You just because it's up by the stone place and it's got things around it. You point. It's last seen further up that way, coming in.
Okay.
And you take her by the hand suddenly, very carefully. Be careful. There are things here that don't seem right.
That's that kind of turn as she realizes this isn't just the taking your hand to lead you. It's to get her attention. It's concerned, and she kind of turns around, looks. What do you mean? Not right.
There are things here that are old, Maeve. Old Gaian things, but I imagine there are things here that are just as old. That she sees as her enemies, in some form or fashion. Like I said, always be cautious in your hunting ground.
It's a little, again, very ironically, he's very good at getting her to take him seriously. So it's a very sincere little nod. Oh, I'll gather Chiminich, and I'll bring someone with me. And
Keep me in the loop. If you go missing out here, then who would find you? That leaves a fucking shiver down your spine, mate, because, looking out at this place. Like, I imagine that makes all the fucking hairs on her back stand up, because when you look out, like, Jesus Christ, who would find me? You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe I'll bring you with me.
Alright.
Besides, there's not many people to have with you on a galliard when you're talking to the wind.
Come on. Let's get back.
Another, compliant little nod. She lets him tug her along by the hand.
Yeah, he'll switch the grip by the time he gets into Brooks Rest, essentially. Goes back to that very polite,
That escort arm.
Yeah. And we're going to see anything there, but I'm going to do something first. So as you and Daniel leave, in the deep, resonating caves, a figure stands, arms extended. As the cargo is loaded, a horn blast one more time as the vessel collects sacrifice. And that is where the scene